How to stick to your NOFAP goal, even when you don't feel like it. In this video, I will share my top tip on how to stick to your NOFAP goal, even when you don't feel like it. In this video, I will talk about how to stick to your NOFAP goal, even when you don't feel like it. Many people have a hard time sticking to their goals, but that's because they're not using the proper techniques. I will break down some of the best ways I found to help you stay on track and achieve your goals, so make sure to stay tuned. It can be challenging to keep a consistent course when dealing with the unexpected twists and turns that make up everyday life. However, studies show that perseverance is key to achieving one's goals. Over 200 MBA students were surveyed, and those who established weekly goals and monitored their progress had a much higher success rate than those who did not. The same rule of thumb works in other domains as well. For example, achieving fitness or weight loss goals is more probable for people who consistently exercise and eat healthily. Everything points to one conclusion: regular effort is necessary for success. If you set goals and work towards achieving them, you will succeed. And I know that sometimes it can feel like there are so many options that there is no clear way to move forward. When there are too many options, it's easy to feel confused and lost. But freedom and choice give people power. When we make our own choices, we take charge of our lives and decide where we want to go. We are no longer at the mercy of other people or our surroundings. Instead, we are the ones who determine what will happen to us. When we accept freedom and choice, we open up a world of options. We can improve ourselves and make our lives what we want them to be. So with this, I know firsthand that you have a choice. You have a choice. You have a choice, but you have not signed the contract stating that you are committed to the NoFap lifestyle. You haven't made that decision within yourself, no matter what, which is why you keep relapsing. So, we're explicitly discussing what it's like to be dedicated, or what it means to be dedicated or committed to the NoFap lifestyle. You see a lot of guys who struggle repeatedly, They'll travel a short distance before returning to their starting point, relapsing constantly, and the answer is pretty straightforward to me. The answer is that you don't want it bad enough. I know that sounds harsh. I may have pushed some buttons, but bear with me. And let's be honest here, keeping yourself motivated is a significant challenge when trying to achieve a goal. When you don't get what you want right away or face adversity, it's easy to give up. In light of this, it's crucial to have a firm grasp on what you want to accomplish and how you intend to do it. B. There's no promise that you'll follow through on your plans, even if you give them a lot of thought. There's where dedication comes in. If you're genuinely invested in achieving your NoFap goal, you'll find the motivation to keep going even when the going gets tough. If you're having trouble staying on track, evaluate how badly you want success. If not very, then perhaps you need to rethink your priorities. However, no obstacle can stop you if you are genuinely dedicated. The most intriguing aspect of relapsing to me is the number of opportunities between the conception of the idea that I'm going to relapse and the execution of the relapse. Relapse occurs most often when people attempt to abstain from sexual activity for too long. If you're used to pleasuring every day, obviously this may be very challenging. To succeed, you must proceed cautiously and give yourself plenty of time to readjust. I suggest you start by going a week without any sex at all and work your way up to 2 and 3 weeks. The need to engage in self-pleasure should lessen considerably after the 4th week. You can now gradually lengthen the time between releases. In time, you should be able to forego sexual activity for an extended period of time. Keep in mind that you can't generalize success rates or rates of achievement because people are different and there is no guaranteed timeline. What irks me is that when you are tempted, there are so many opportunities and times for you to consciously withdraw from the situation to change your state, to remove yourself. There are so many opportunities, but you never take them. Now I'm wondering why we don't seize those opportunities like someone is holding a gun to our heads, telling me that I had better relapse or else. Nobody forces you to relapse, so why don't we stop ourselves? Some of it has to do with addiction and how addiction can change the brain. And the other part has to do with you. Addiction is complicated to overcome. It's tough to break a habit, especially if it's something you enjoy doing and feels good to do, even if you know it's bad for you. This is the main reason why so many people give up on their NoFap efforts. They are aware of the harm that comes from self-pleasure, but they still can't seem to stop doing it. They may have a good start, but they always give in to temptation and revert to their old ways. As time goes on, more and more studies show that excessive fapping can have detrimental effects on the brain. Fapping has been shown to raise levels of the reward hormone dopamine. Too much dopamine, while necessary for maintaining equilibrium in mood and drive, can cause addiction and impulsive actions. Furthermore, dopamine is known to contribute to sexual arousal. As a result, frequent fapping may dull the brain's sensitivity to sexual pleasure. I believe that most guys have signed an unspoken, undefined contract within themselves that states, I am willing to be on nofap until, and the until part basically means, until there is an urge so strong and powerful that I will not deal with it. I'll choose not to deal with it, which is what usually happens, right? You'll be doing so well on a streak, and then an urge will come over you, and you'll refuse to deal with it. Now, a YouTuber named Gold Jacket Luke stated in one of his videos that it is our responsibility to bear our pain. Jesus carried the cross before being crucified. It is now your responsibility as an individual who has almost, if not already, destroyed your life with adult movies. You must take care of your own pain on nofap. This is because on nofap, your primary objective is to refrain from sexual activity for a set time. There will be times when you feel like you can't get through this, but you must. Try to keep in mind that this is only a short-term situation. You'll get stronger the more you push through your withdrawal symptoms. At some point, you'll be able to conquer your sexual addiction and lead a normal, fulfilling life. Don't give up because of the short-term discomfort. The long-term benefits are well worth the effort. It is your responsibility to bear your suffering because that is what it is on nofap for a short time. Let me show you what I mean by this. For the first month or so of my nofap journey, I had insomnia every night because I was so focused on resisting my urges. For one thing, I was willing to sacrifice sleep. If you know me, you know that I have a passion for sleep, that I make it a top priority in my life, and that I would sit with those urges and bear that suffering for at least a month if I had to. I had insomnia so bad that I finally gave in and sat through it, knowing full well that this was the price I had to pay. What it will cost me to beat my addiction is this. Some sort of cost must be paid. That you have a choice was driven home to me by the fact that I was willing to give up convenience and my favorite things in order to beat my addiction. You are free to make your own decisions and haven't agreed to live a nofap lifestyle, no matter what the consequences. The reason you keep reverting is that you haven't made that decision deep down. I remember thinking, you know what? I just want to relapse, like I just want to look at adult content, like that's it, after a particularly bad period of relapse during my nofap journey. I enjoyed myself. At the time, that sentiment held true. So, basically, I'm saying that to show that some of us need to be honest with ourselves. Do we genuinely want to give up something that gives us this much pleasure and joy, or are we just saying we want to give it up, which is an internal commitment, if you are genuinely committed to living a life? Words alone will not suffice. If you commit to the nofap lifestyle, you will do whatever it takes and be willing to suffer, because the worst that can happen is that you will have an urge. That's all there is to it. Sure, you'll get headaches now and then. Maybe you'll have insomnia, which is fine, but those things are a minimal price to pay for a lifetime of freedom from the thing that has the most control over you. So instead of rambling on, I'm going to leave you with that in the video here. I want you to challenge yourself and be honest. Have I committed to this? Am I dedicated to it? Or am I just saying I'm dedicated to it? What you don't probably know is that nofap not only gives you mental benefits, but obviously gives you many physical benefits. If you want to know about these fantastic results, be sure to click the next video.